As a relatively conservative Black American, I have a concern about the conservative movement, which it seems appropriate to express here and now. It is troubling that conservatives as a whole make generic colorblind claims about America of the sort that allow them to remain altogether silent on the issue of race. They say everyone is or should be treated equally under the law and leave it at that. Of course, I agree with equality under the law. But what should all of us who nominally call ourselves conservatives be saying about race in America? Is it enough for us to agree that the constitutional framework is adequate in order to solve the problems that remain? Many conservatives would say yes. But for many, a defense of the constitutional framework allows them to go back to business as usual on the question of race. This is just not good enough. Substantively or rhetorically. It's not enough substantively because it allows conservatives to ignore very real problems in Black America, which is to say real problems in America. And indeed, very real problems of the least among us of every racial group. This has been the great Robert Woodson's sober lesson for conservatives over the last 40 years. Defending the constitutional framework is necessary but not sufficient. It's not enough rhetorically because it plays into the hands of those on the left who, A, never met a problem that more government can't fix, and B, point to the silence about race among conservatives as proof of their racism. Here is what I take to be a conservative prescription for the problems of persistent racial inequality in the 21st century. It goes as follows. First, work to fortify the mediating institutions, families, churches, and civil organizations and associations through which citizens, especially the most vulnerable, can develop the competencies to enjoy the fruits of liberty that our constitutional framework can deliver. Secondly, the state can supplement, but it cannot substitute for these mediating institutions. There are times when the state needs to step in, but solutions to problems in all of our communities can and should come from those communities. Thirdly, each and every one of us who believes in modest national government and mediating institutions should look for grassroots leaders in our own community and quietly, without fanfare or virtue signaling, ask how we can help them do the important work that they do, educating their children, helping wayward young men find their way, fostering the acquisition of the vocational skills that support gainful employment, instructing young mothers on how to care for their parental responsibilities, comforting those who grieve the loss of their loved ones to gun violence, bringing that hope in the unseen to those sincerely seeking spiritual enrichment. If you detect a Tocquevillian sensibility in these conservative prescriptions, that's no accident. It's a feature, not a bug. The new nationalism that some of us are pushing wants more patriotism, and so do I. It's a good thing. But it can sometimes be insufficiently attentive, this new nationalism, I say here, to how to get a healthy rather than an unhealthy version of patriotism. Chauvinism and jingoism are unhealthy, especially if tainted by racial identity mongering. This, my friends, is to be avoided.